Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in as always, and thanks for all your ongoing support. Likes, subscribe, shares, comments, discussions, hints, tips and tricks, all massively appreciated. Right, today, as discussed, we're going through 1 year, 10,000 miles, my ownership, and a little bit of a review of the car. We'll go over details, specs, how much it's cost me for the first year of ownership, and we'll have a little look around the car. It is pretty clean. I cleaned it yesterday. Was going to shoot this yesterday, but was busy cleaning and then blazing hot, and went out and did some POV and also some B-roll shots with the missus, which was wonderful. Anyway, so we'll do a brief introduction of the car, and this is information that I've gathered from either piston heads or Parkers, and then we'll go through a little bit of my ownership, what it's looked like, what it's cost me, what the reliability's been like, that kind of stuff. And apologies, notepad, I'm too old to memorize loads and loads of detail. And also apologies if I start to melt. Anyway, so this is a 2007 Skoda Fabia VRS Mark 1. I think 2001 was the first VRS, and that was the Octavia. That was a 1.8 turbo, used the same engine from the Audi TT, I believe. And then the Skoda Fabia come out 2003, and they produced it until 2007. And the last ones, the 2007 model, was the SE Special Edition in blue with individually numbered leather seats, which we'll look at in a moment, aircon and cruise. And I believe that's the standard sort of additional extras you got. Anyway, so as I say, they were built from 2003 to 2007. 0 to 60 quoted was 9.2, in brackets probably a little bit quicker than that. The power, 130 brake horsepower, again probably a little tiny bit more than that. Rumour has it Skoda were quite conservative with their figures. Torque, 229 foot-pound, again probably a little bit more. Miles per tank, 524, maybe. I get, before the fuel light comes on, I get 420, 430, but I've never run it right down. I'm not in the market for getting stranded. MPG quoted 53, 100%, I'm pretty sure I'm getting around 50. Insurance group 18. Tax, about £200 a year. Engine size 1896, 6-speed, front-wheel drive, manual, 4-cylinder, 8-valve, and it has a 260-litre boot. And that is all we're going through on spec. Anything else, Google is your friend. So, I bought this, let me just check today's date. So it's the 10th of August today. I bought this 14th of September 2024. So I bought it for 5k on 58,000 miles, and it had a few small niggles which I've documented on the YouTube channel, which you're more than willing to go and have a look at. It's quite interesting really, just little things. Petrol cap was stuck open and wouldn't lock, that was an easy fix. The petrol cap little lead retainer was missing, easy fix, couple of quid off eBay. Clutch pedal had popped off, but the owner had kept it, so I glued that back on. Offside door, sorry, near side rear was a bit intermittent, and then subsequently got stuck shut. And driver's side front door wouldn't lock with a fob. I've since had both of those fixed. So the first expenditure on the car, as I say, I give 5k for it. The first expenditure on the car was, it felt a little bit vague on the steering, so having a little read up on that, I had lower ball joints, cheap as anything, and it had non-matching, really cheap, really bad quality tyres throughout. Let's just move cam round a bit. I'm still going to be looking into the sun, aren't I? Anyway. So yeah, it had really poor quality tyres, so I put on, in the end, just chose Michelin's. I think Michelin Pilot, they are Pilot Sport 3s. Too much tyre shine, really shiny. So Pilot Sport 3s, lower ball joints. I think that cost about £750. So let's just have a little talk about what I spent on it in the first year. So tyres and ball joints, £750. Then I just set about driving it daily in it, to and fro work, wonderful, until it needed its first service. And because it had a complete service history book at Skoda, I decided to take it to a accredited ex-Skoda garage. So they were a Skoda garage, now they're just an accredited VAG group service centre and dealer. And it had full service, belts, the back door was stuck shut, passenger rear stuck shut, so that was open from inside, cost a lot of money in terms of labour. And then it had a new mechanism, that was £1,500, money well spent in my opinion. And then a few months later, MOT, I had another door lock, driver's side, and I'd bought a donor electric window motor and sent that off to get restored and future-proofed. So it's 60 quid for the donor motor, 60 quid for the service, and that MOT and the driver's door refurb was 467.80. And other than that, the only other expenditure was a wheel refurb, which again, my choice entirely, 375 quid. So in total, I'd spent £3,212 on servicing, electrical niggles, wheel refurb, etc., belts, and 5k on the car. So 8,212 pound 80p in my first year. So let's just look at a couple of things I've done with it. Obviously, I spend a lot of time cleaning. It had a machine polish on the headlights. They need doing again. I've machine polished certain areas. We're probably due to go again. I've lana guarded underneath entirely. That's probably due again. Engine bay's been detailed. Treated the leather. Dyed some dull or worn areas on the leather. That needs doing again. Other than that, it's just been cleaning, driving it to work, etc., etc. Best thing about it, it's fun, frugal, economical, cheap to run, and moderately cheap to maintain. And I appreciate a lot of the work that I had done could have been done by a small backstreet garage, no problem at all. Anyone can work on a PD130, Skoda platform, easy peasy. But I wanted to keep the service history up and running. So standard maintenance things, tyres, oil, filter, fuel, brakes, the basics, cheap, all good. So let's get in and have a little look around the car. Let's have a little look around the engine bay. All kinda standard of the era. Quite clean underneath. Skoda, honestly, apart from a few rusty nuts, which have had an Atomac recently, it has fared really well, considering its age. Been around yesterday just doing Auto Smart finish, just to tidy up. This has had Atomac. I'll get some more, probably Deox gel, Built Hamber Deox gel on some of those areas, just to stop the rust in its tracks. But the plastic's good, all good. Rubber seal's good. Just starting to see a little bit of corrosion bursting through here and here. No real drama, but engine layout nice, easy to work on. Happy days underneath the cover, in good shape. Like a total loser, I did hoover the insulation. Right, let's have a little look inside. So we'll start on the passenger side. Just for reference, I do have the genuine VRS initially supplied OEM mats, and they were in such good condition, I decided to put them in a plastic bag, store them forever, and I will probably make a video for the channel restoring them with upholstery cleaner, and they'll stay in the boot until the day comes when I sell it. But these are, I think, Corbo or Cobra, something like that, car mats, and they were VRS metal badges from AliExpress, which I stuck on using 3M command strips. Anyway, while we're here, let's have a little look here. This is a standard discussion point for these. Comedy stroke genius thing. You open that little flap, and with the aircon on, you can blow cool air into this area and keep a couple of cans of drink nice and cool. Note to self, don't do it up so tight again. Other thing people regularly mention, oh, I wonder where that went. My little VRS cup holder. I'll put that there. Cup holder cover. I thought I'd lost it earlier. Other thing to mention is that there is a reasonable sized glove box, and then there's a little hidden drawer, carpeted, goes back quite far actually. Ideal. That's where I should keep the service history. And then there's a couple of completely and utterly pointless cup holders, because, you know, if you go straight up from there, we have a little cubby here with a non-slip mat, which is probably extra slippery because I've cleaned it. Oh, the only cubby I didn't clean out. Ashtray. I will remove this. This has been on since I bought it because this was probably the scabbiest area of the Fabia. Sticker worn off. I'm going to get this off. I've got a complete new one, but me being me, I've never fitted it. Anyway, once that, if I do fit it, this is coming off. I'm going to give this to my sister company next door to where I work, get them to print me a new vinyl. I'll probably get some made up actually. Retypeset that, because that's what I do for a living, graphic design, and get that one restored. I'll do that myself. That'll be interesting. And I'll fit the new one, which comes with a new gator, which didn't need replacing. Anyway, so leather gator, leather gear stick, leather steering wheel, leather handbrake. Pretty square. Everything else interior wise is normal. Everything makes perfect sense. It all works. It's nice. The radio is easy. Push button. It's on. Bosh, bosh, bosh. Simple dimple. Wonderful. Aircon, all simple, all manual, all easy, just great. But as I say, does possibly feel a little bit bland, but I have grown to absolutely love it. Dash layout, wonderful. Or the gauges, dials, layout, wonderful, nice, clean, clear, perfectly bright at night. Everything you could possibly need. We have, and this is just, oh, I love it. 6-disc multiplay, really nice. It's just lovely when you switch it on and hear, you know, the buzz of that engaging. So while we're here, another good discussion point. Bizarrely, because, you know, you've got your pillars here and the seats at full, as back as far as they go, not much legroom. I'm not even going to attempt to get in there. So my apologies, I'm just going to slide the seat forward. So it's sort of, to me, feels like, to give you a reasonable sized driving experience, and less important, but the passenger experience, you've got hardly any room in the back and not much in the boot. It's a good place to shoot what that front aspect's like. Anyway, in the back, really rather nice, really rather nice. VRS emblazoned, embroidered seats, rear headrests, nice. Let me just get sat in. Yeah, I wouldn't mind being a passenger here. With the seat there, so you'd easily get an adult in there. With the seat there, I've got plenty of space. Pockets, I don't open them too often, I don't want to stretch them. You've got a cubby here, which is rubbish because you can't get to it when you're here. Reaching back here is a bit of a pain. Cup holder, also slightly rubbish. But overall, in the back, nice. Just to note while I'm here, something, oh, I haven't hoovered here. I always liked the grey trim on the headlining. Just feels nice, feels a bit sporty. I've got plenty of headroom, It's nice, quite nice. Right, let's get myself out of there. I won't try getting in the other side. Trim's all okay. Trim's all okay. Winding windows in the back. Winner. Rear tweets. Rear speakers are there. And in the boot, which is reasonable. That's the only negative I have about the car is that I can't quite get a lawnmower in. Maybe I should try that again. I think if I had a lawnmower that was A, really small, and B, folded up really small, maybe it would. Anyway, so you have the standard false floor, and just goes to show the originality of the car. I meant to mention that at the start. I will remember to discuss that in a moment. And then we have, obviously, I think the little pin, that's for pulling the covers off the wheel nut covers, and jack and towing eye and the spanner. I'm fairly sure that's relatively complete. I did keep, because I like the originality, I did keep the locking wheel nut in there, but I got bored. That is a ridiculous place to keep it. But yeah, all looking all right in there. No rust creeping through. Not entirely sure what would live here. I'm thinking maybe fire extinguisher. I will get one in there. But in general, we're looking good in the back, and everything is in nice shape. All the rubbers moisturised yesterday. Little handle to pull the boot down. Right, let's lose my hat. In case you're wondering about that, I had noticed when I first looked round it, scritchy, scratchy, and whenever you put the boot up, bring, it's pressing against that, which annoyed me. You know, let's shut the other door. You do have, I don't know if you'd say, puddle lights on the fronts, but not the rears. Maybe, I don't think they're ones that shine. They don't necessarily shine down a great deal. And obviously, VRS strips either side, and nice pedal covers. That is the one that had come off, and I've glued back on, but all nice, well presented, and nice and neat in there. Only thing I've really fitted extra were these AliExpress VRS carbon effect covers that pop down like little bolsters, because the gaps in here are so thin, it's really hard to get a hoover in there. Right, let me shut the bonnet, and then I'll get the seat adjusted back, and we'll have a little look at the layout from the passenger aspect. What I actually meant was we'll have a look at the layout from the driver aspect. So you've got fuel filler cap there, bonnet release here. Oh, while we're here, let's just have a little look in here. We remove those items quickly. So similarly and interestingly, you also have, and this is really hard to spot, but in here you can pull that forward, and you can just see when you pull it forward it says on, and you put your finger in, there's a small hole again connected to the blower, so with the aircon on it'll keep something in here cool. Crazy, eh? Crazy. Just interesting how sort of Skoda think about little quirky things. And you've got a little bit of storage there, and apologies for my bits and bobs, it's the only thing I didn't tidy. So you have headlights, excuse the beep, main, and then when you pull out, we can only do it here, when you pull out, one click I think is rear fogs, 2 clicks, 2 stages out, that is rear fogs and front fogs. Get that off before it drives us mental. You've got headlight leveling adjustment, sorry, this one, and then you've got dash display, radio display, brightness is this one, obviously set to max, that's how I like it. Right, let's get the door shut. We have electrically operated mirror adjustment for the driver's side and the passenger side, selected by this knob. So indicated left, that would adjust the left hand one, indicated right would adjust the right one, and they're also heated, which is wonderful. You have lock all doors, happy days, and it now works. And you have unlock all doors, and then you have auto down for both drivers and passenger side, and both currently work, which is a bonus. So, sat here, if only we had more shade. The stereo is really nice. Pity I can't play it on YouTube actually, but stereo, as I say, really nice. CD player, nice. Only other thing I've added is I put in a Bluetooth receiver stroke FM transmitter so that I can have the phone on charge in this, and then I just have the transmitter plugged into the cigarette lighter. Had to get a narrow one, not the square top one, because that interfered with the handbrake operation, but the circular topped, fairly low profile one worked a treat, and now I can listen to Apple AirPlay stuff if I want. But you can have one CD in here, 6 CDs in the auto changer, and it is great. Only real bit of damage really, other than what I showed with the gear stick being warm, which is normal. Only bit of damage that was on the car when I bought it is that it looked like, I think they've had problems with this lock before, and it looked like the mechanic, gorilla thug, had just ripped down this bit in order to make adjustments to it. Anyway, I have since purchased a replacement door card, which I will get round to fitting, and probably will have another lock at the same time. So steering wheel is adjustable up and down, and it comes towards you and away from you, which is wonderful, just what you need. Apparently these are prone to breaking, so I generally keep them shut all the time, but I am incredibly careful with them if I do open them, because I don't want to break them. Anyway, that is that for the inside, I think. Visors, good. Passenger, mirror, nice. Interior lighting and switchgear, all nice, all good. Everything feels practical and functional and nice. No complaints at all. Oh, seating position. So you have a handle here, so you can go all the way up and all the way down. And believe it or not, for me, there is a slight bit more knee room when I'm driving, foot on the support. There's a little bit more driving knee room for me than there is in the Forester. Nice. It just feels nice. You do feel like you're sitting quite low, but it just feels nice. Right, last bit, and I put the camera really far away for good reason. I am melting having sat in the car. So, like we said, a little bit bland inside, but everything is really well laid out and it all makes sense. Nice and easy to use. Stereo's great for a 17-year-old car. CD player is amazing if you're my age. It's got great sound quality. Cruise control, meant to mention that when we're in there. It is wonderful. Just nice, intuitive, common sense. Get up to whatever your target speed is, 40, 50, 60, 70. Press the end of the left hand stalk and it will just set that speed until you brake or dip the clutch. Or press the plus to gain more speed. But as soon as you press the brake or dip the clutch, it will disengage and slow down. If you want to accelerate, to override it, to overtake, you can do that. Take your foot off the accelerator and then it will slow down until it gets back to the most recently set target speed. Wonderful. Clutch is wonderful, really easy, low amount of pressure required, low amount of force required to press it down. So it's lazy, smooth, effortless. It just makes for a really easy, chilled drive, brilliant in traffic, like an anti-fatigue type car. You can do 100, 200, 300 miles and you never feel tired. It's just nice. And, you know, like I say, you don't often have to stop for petrol, diesel either. 400 from a tank, easy peasy. Aircon is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Boot space is a little bit limited, as we said. Front space is great. Rear space suffers due to the amount of space there is up front, as we discussed. It is really, really good fun to drive. Bit like I've said this about the Subaru. Subaru does slow good. This does slow really good. This does moderate pushing on, everyday driving really good. But you can also put your foot down and have some fun in it. The power is surprisingly good. There's a little bit of lag, but then you get all the boost, all the torque, whoosh, off you go. Happy days. It's not fast, but it does keep up with modern vehicles, no problem at all. The grip. When I first had it, obviously, as I say, it was on, I only had the Subaru to compare it to, four-wheel drive, coilovers. The Subaru's like super planted. With this, coming off a roundabout, second gear, you put your foot down, as soon as you hit boost, it would spin up the tyres in the damp. Since having Michelin Pilot Sport 3s all round, far superior, and I feel much more safe in the knowledge that it's not going to let go. But yeah, they have helped loads in my humble opinion. So we'll try and cover off a couple of things that people might wonder and questions I was looking at when I was first buying one. There's a very good review actually by a YouTube channel called Fast and Fun, and he did a wonderful review of this car, probably a better job than I'm doing, but hopefully this is interesting nonetheless. So a couple of things. Is it fast? Yes-ish. But the thing that is most amazing is the torque, which therefore gives you that wonderful drivability. One thing to mention, with a Subaru, you use 25% of the power most of the time, 75% of the power some of the time. When you really want to start gassing it, you need space. And it feels terrifying. With this, it's the other way around. You can use 75 to 95% of the power all the time, which is what makes it fun to drive. Is it economical? Massively so. Is it fun? Yeah, absolutely. Is it nice to drive? 100%. It is really, really nice to drive. Everything. Brakes, gearbox, steering, handling, comfort. It's just nice. Seats are really comfortable, by the way. I didn't mention that. Will it get you noticed? No. That is one of the things that's funny. In 1 year, I've had two people, one person give me a bib and the knowing nod in the traffic, and one guy come over and spoke to me in the services because he was a Fabia fan. Other than that, no. Subaru, all the time. Because it's just, I mean, it's mega rare, I guess. But then again, these are getting quite rare now anyway, as well. Is it reliable? Yeah, absolutely, massively so, massively so. You're getting it in the morning, you take it for your daily journey, and that's it. Right, let's have a look at a couple of the little niggly bits, shall we? So, only real niggles externally, we've got lacquer peel, which is a common problem on these apparently. I have one bit of rust and bubbling, and other most notable thing is the paint being flat as a pancake and pretty much no more top coat. I mean, I'd like to get a new aerial. This rubber has seen better days. I'm going to do that when I find one. Wheels were refurbished, obviously. They had that standard horrible finish to them, unfortunately, and it was all corroded. But I think this colour scheme, I always wanted a little bit of smoke, dunk, dunk, just to get that sort of contrast. I thought it would suit the car better. Paintwork in general, wonderful. I think annoyingly, I've got a little kink there that you can probably hardly ever see. A couple of little bits of peel here. Everything else is looking good. Got a small chip at the back. That was done by me, which I'm devastated to relay. There's been some kind of funny repair on here before where someone's sort of scratched it and tried to machine polish it. I mean, it's not terrible. And a few little marks. I'm going to leave this. The only thing the Fabia's getting, I'm going to try and, there's more sort of lacquer peel problems here. So probably just going to have new lacquer, bonnet, roof, and that'll be it. Other than that, she's fared well. That's just a bug. Glass is all good. I think this is slightly disappointing that you've got that slight blowing of the mirror, but other than that, it presents well and it looks nice. I'll put in a couple of shots of her on the move. So, what's it like to drive? Well, actually, really rather good. Let's get in and have a look. Obviously, being dated diesel technology, it is fairly analog, and you get a nice burst into life, particularly when it's cold. But we are currently pre-warm, so all is good in the world. So we'll get a little bit of POV, have a little chat about the driving experience, and then it's back to wrap up. But yeah, I mean, it's got quite compliant suspension, so you get very little rattlers inside. There is a little rattle coming from the glove box at present because I have just put the GoPro grip and mounts in there. So we're at 30 mile an hour, 4th gear, 2000 RPM. We'll just round this corner. Lucky I wasn't on the gas. So we are looking, let's just get on now, 35, and we're up to 55 in no time at all. The pull is relatively pleasing. But yeah, so it's definitely slightly on the erring towards comfort suspension rather than sporty suspension, but it's nice. It's quite a lazy drive, as you would expect from diesel, in that when you're not in a rush, you can just poodle along 1400 RPM, 1500 RPM, 4th gear, 30 mile an hour, happy days. Nice and smooth, nice and comfy. It reminds me, actually, put the seat back, Mrs. Rev-You just drove it a moment ago. I nearly forgot. Yeah, I got my partner to drive it a little bit just so I could get some B-roll exterior shots so we could see what Little Shed looks like on the go. Quite impressive, actually, quite nice, quite pleasing. But I will confess that I have spent a significant amount of time cleaning it. Right, let's just get round this corner, and then in a moment I will change the position of the camera, and then we'll get some me chat. Right, good time for a little pull. 2nd gear, 1500 RPM. and that is what the acceleration's like, up to the 40 limit. So nice, yeah, gets a little move on. As someone else commented, I was sort of researching other reviews, you know, when you get on the gas, you quickly forget that it's a diesel. Yes, when you're idling, sitting in traffic, cold start, etc, etc, you know it's a diesel. But yeah, so seating position, really, really nice. You've got seat up and down, steering wheel up and down, towards you and away from you, which is pleasant. So you can get the steering wheel exactly where you like it. I was joking with the missus a moment ago that I'm one of these people where I just like it to be centered, so that what I see through the aperture in the steering wheel looks framed correctly. I'd rather that look nice and sacrifice comfort, but as long as this looks nice. That's just me. So 30 mile an hour, 15,000 RPM, 1500 RPM. So it'll just pull nicely. Obviously I'm not flat to the floor, but it'll just pull nicely. So that's a really, really mellow drive. Wonderful as well, because it's got a dual mass flywheel. Really nice in traffic. You know, the clutch is really gentle, soft, doesn't take a great deal of effort. Pulling away, nice. It's got a good feel to it. It's just nice, just nice. Steering feels nice. Suspension, as I say, errs towards a comfort kind of vibe. So you can't go nuts. You don't have that sort of total sense of comfort. But look, when I bought it, I had the Forester as my benchmark, and I mean the Forester is planted like a limpet to the road, and you feel completely confident all the time when pressing on, unless you're going completely nutty crackers. I mean, I personally don't know how you'd have to drive the Forester for it to come unstuck, but you know, I think it would be unsafe to endeavour to do that sort of thing on the public road. However, I have probably once, I went to the shops late on a evening just to go and grab some beer. Fabia was clean, clear and empty of stuff, because I hate things sliding around. So I was able to sort of press on a little bit, and it is a hoot. It is just a hoot round the back roads. It really is a hoot. I mean, it doesn't grip like the Fiesta. The Fiesta is low and rock hard, so it doesn't stick like that, but it is certainly erring on the side of fun, and you can definitely have some fun in it. I remember when I just bought it, it was probably like it did have terrible, really poor quality and all unmatched tyres. And I remember I was driving to get some detailing supplies from Halfords, and I'd had this motocross bike absolutely glued to my offside rear, you know, top dead centre in my wing mirror, and the whole time, and it's like, mate, I used to be a biker, giving plenty of room, just go by. He was driving me mad. Anyway, come to a roundabout where I was turning right, and I thought, right, I know, I'll get halfway round and then just floor it second. And I was very, very surprised with what the Fabia did. It lit up the tyres and was squirreling around for grip, and then shot off down the road like a mad thing. I was like, that was very, very impressive. That was very impressive. But yeah, so again, back to seating position. There is a little bit more room in Fab due to the layout and the adjustability, but it's a tiny bit more spacious, believe it or not, than the Forester. The Forester is ever so slightly, it's because the seats won't go low enough, so it feels a little bit tight. I'd like to get a bit lower, and there is a mod for that. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. Anyway, so the comfort, as you can see, lovely. So I can put the seat down, so I've got plenty of room,
nice and comfy. Jobs are good. It is nice. Oh, I always dread them tractors. I always think they're going to throw a brick out of their tread, you know. If there's anything that's going to chuck a stone at you, it's a tractor or a Land Rover or Range Rover. Oh. Anyway, I'm starting to boil. Let's just get around here so we can push on a bit. You know, it sticks okay. That's okay. Got a little bit of traction light, which miraculously still works. But yeah, it's good. Perfectly adequate. It'll keep up with plenty of other faster vehicles on the road and keep up with modern traffic. No problem at all. Surprise a lot of other cars. It's a 2007 diesel hot hatch, so it is what it is. The jewel in the crown, as you can see, if you look at my fuel, still just over half a tank. I've done 272 miles and still got 310 mile range. It is crackers, and I hate to say it's game changing, but it has been an absolute game changer for me in terms of how much fuel I was using in the Forester versus how much fuel I use now. It is absolutely crazy. But yeah, so I mean, I trundle to and fro working it, and honestly it's so busy on the morning commute that I'll generally just sit at 60, 65, just so I'm moving quicker than lorries but slower than everyone else, so I don't get in lorries' way, and I'll just stick it in cruise and then go. Actually, that reminds me, the cruise control is fabulous. You just press the end of that stalk and then it will maintain that speed. Obviously it won't stop for you. You can press the end of the stalk to slow incrementally, or you can slide to the left to go a little bit faster incrementally. But the cruise is just simplicity. Dab the brake, it switches off. Press the accelerator, you go a little bit faster, and press engage again, and then it will maintain that speed for you. That's your newly set speed. It is brilliant. Right, oh, I was just going to do a little pull. Oh, no, not now. I'm not. Cool, that is nice and square, isn't it? I think it's because of that frame. I do love a square thing. Anyway, yeah, so it's interesting just to quickly talk about the cruise. I really like it. While I remember another thing I really like, it has got CD multi-changer under the passenger seat. Oh, and it's just the analogness of it. I know it's digital, but the disc system, but the analogness of it, the 6-disc multi-changer, when it picks up and changes your disc, engages the head, etc, etc. I don't know what it's doing inside the machine, but it just sounds wonderful when it's nice and quiet and you can hear that under the passenger seat going. It's really nice. It's really nice. Something about it just satisfying. Better than faffing around with Apple CarPlay and trying to coerce modern technology to do what you want. You know where you stand. Oh yeah, I'll put my favourite disc on, track number 3, bush, happy days. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, and it just does what you were expecting. I'm going somewhat further than I expected because that road shut and I wasn't expecting that. You can see on the left here my dream garage. Oh, I may have not turned my head in time, but it's like a triple non-door version. Obviously I'd like doored, but it's like a triple timber framed garage. Oh, it's a carport type thing. Heaven. Yeah. So look, lazy. I'm still in 5th. I only just realised. My bad. I don't want to labour too much. Anything below 1500 RPM, you do feel like you're labouring it too much, you know, but you don't want to take absolute liberties. So yeah, position again nice, controls all nicely laid out, everything you need here all nicely laid out. The stereo is particularly good. I really like it. I think you've got yeah, tweeters, mids, and Same rear, just custom, normal door speakers in the back. But yeah, just good. It's just good. Obviously we can't play sound on YouTube. Oh, is this person going to torture me for the rest of this drive? Come on. Anyway, might have to let some oxygen in a minute. There is one small problem with the Fab at the moment, in that I can't have the blower on. I can't have it on 1, 2 or 3. It only works on 4. There's a problem with like a variable resistor type thing behind the dash. I've just got to get the glove box out and fix that. I've got the part. It's only 35 quid, maybe 50 for genuine Skoda part. But yeah, I'll get that done ASAP. But I wanted to get this shot whilst the car is gleaming and fun and nice. But yeah, it's a nice place to be, nice place to be. As I'll explain probably, in the intro or outro, the amount of space you have up front does slightly reduce the amount of space you have in the back, obviously. You've got a tiny boot, tiny leg space in the back, but up front it's quite big. And when you've got the seat back a little bit and as low as possible and reclined a little bit, you do feel a bit like you're almost beyond that pillar, the door pillar. Oh no, come on. It's the other person's right away. Can't crash on camera. That would be a bad look. I love this old school crossing. I've been coming here since I was tiny. I used to come here. My dad worked in the brewery just down the road, so we've been coming there since I was tiny. Just have to do a full rubberneck there to make sure no one's joining. Oh, national speed limit. Woof. 50. And that's the beauty of it. That punch of torque. You might only be, on paper, 130 brake horsepower. Rumour has it, it's probably slightly more, but it's the amount of torque. The amount of torque is what makes it great. You get a little bit of lag, not a lot to speak of at low revs, and then a nice little push, and it is just pleasant. Just pleasant. And as I mentioned a minute ago, where, with the Subaru, is getting sort of 28 to the gallon, pretty much average. But as soon as you start pushing on, it is miles less than that. Miles less than that. Full throttle, probably 8 to the gallon. Average, pressing on 20. On a run like a nun, maybe 30, maybe 32. But with this, I'm getting 50 all the time, which is just wonderful. I'll put £52 in and I'll do 420 miles, which makes me incredibly happy. The other day I put 75 in the FOS and done 212 miles. So that just goes to show I could buy 3 tanks in this. 2 tanks in FOS would be 150 quid and that'd get me 400 miles. But 52 quid in this gets me 400 miles. So that's like a third of the cost. Crazy. Right. National speed limit, 4th gear. Not going to go crazy. Weren't even anywhere near flooring it, but just a nice little pickup. Don't need to slow for a bend like that. Can press on a little bit more, press on some more, get ready for anchors, and that is approximately 60, and we can drop a cog and just push in for this, no worries, and she's round there sprightly and out of the bend. Happy days. And that's nice. And then 30, so 4th gear, 30 mile an hour. Happy days. Happy days.
Right, that is it. That is everything. If you have any questions at all about Skoda Fabia VRS Mark 1, pop a comment in the comments or email me, Instagram, whatever. More than happy to discuss any ins and outs of Fabia ownership. And I don't think there's anything else to say. What's next? Oh, MOT. It did have advisory on the rear brakes, I think. Because of the price of them, I'm going discs and pads all round. And also, when I had the lower ball joints, I think one of the disc brake backs was removed or was so knackered they just pulled it off anyway and said it can't go back on, it's kaput. So I've got a whole new set of those to go on, and as I say, all new brakes all round, all new pads all round, then it wants for nothing really. And as I say, car was bought on 58,000 miles, it's now showing 68,000 miles. So averaging probably after another month, about between 10 and 12,000 a year, and I will continue to do so in Little Shed. I did upgrade these. Can't go wrong with them. Bosch, nice, really good wipers, very pleased with them. And I don't think there's anything else to mention. Headlights are due another polish and another seal. I'll get into that. I'd kind of like to refresh the badges. They're looking a bit dead, but that's not the end of the world. I always planned never to mod this. I'm fully aware they are infinitely tunable, intercooler, hard pipes, remap, probably a performance exhaust. You know, stage 1, stage 2. Maybe stage 2 needs more, but you know what I'm saying. We could get more power out of it, but I'm not going to. Only thing I've bought, I bought one of those Heko winter grills, just because I like the look of them, make them look kind of stealthy. So that I will put on for the winter. And I have considered, because I quite like white line for one, and stealthy, non-visible mods, I have thought about white line rear anti-roll bar. Again, for the reasons I mentioned, like in white line and like in stealthy mods, but also I do like things that improve handling characteristics, and it was wonderful on the Forester, one of the best mods ever. Anyway, so that is it. I very, very much hope you enjoyed watching that one. If you're interested in the content or enjoyed the content, please consider going and viewing one of my other videos. When I first bought the car, all the little fixes and bug fixes I took care of. It's under seal, engine bay detail, interior, leather, polishing, all sorts, all documented. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. As always, God, it is warming up, and have a wonderful day ahead. Hope you enjoyed that one. Take very, very good care of yourselves. Take care. Bye-bye.